decided to watch some TV, listening to the news like Gordon Mosley. And listening to the things that he say he tracking tonight, paying close attention to make sure I hear it right. But when I hear the things that he mentioned on the news, I had to declare them kind of thing got me confused. I hear some things where the ERC noticing, and it convinced me that people ain't learning nothing. We hear so many times about them big name calling, and they say ERC pretend that they didn't learn nothing. But once you're black and you just decide to say a word or two, bet your life on that they say ERC coming for you. Listen to the things you just hear on social media. Only one set of people allowed to talk in one Diana. I still say nothing, black people in learning. But this is my concern. I hope one day black people will learn. ERC that I would like to know, if any of its members happens to be black people. And if that is the case, I want them to answer this call. Tell me how come none of them ain't got no voice at all. You're showing signs of weakness and you're afraid to be fair, and we see the same thing keep happening year after year. And the day will come when all this nonsense will stop. That will be the day when black people decide to wake up. Not so long ago, something terrible happened. This young Indian man want to kill out all black people by poison. But if his shoes was on the other foot, what have been and they tried. But up to this day, this ERC can do nothing as yet. How come it's only black people committing cybercrime? When pretty on social media fussing people all the time, I still say black people in learning. But one day will come when the entire table will turn. Excuse me, see they fail to condemn, because these people think that the law is only for them. And anybody else who decide to file a complaint, they go call you a racist and don't want to hear nothing. Plenty complaint from time to time has been brought to their attention, but because of this one-sided cybercrime is why they don't show any concern. There's only one set of people that they really care about, and black people must take the abuse and shut them out. Kidaki Amsterdam went to court just recently for an issue that was highlighted by the same ERC. And with breakneck speed, the police decide to jump on his case without a search warrant event and search up the man's place. Let us all agree that black people under attack. Different laws for you and me just because we black. I still singing. people in learning. To all my black friends, we must put a stop to all this nonsense. Cybercrime laws to keep people silent, just to make sure nobody criticizes this government. And while that is a very clear case of dictatorship, it is no surprise that the ERC ignoring it. Why only the chosen few is allowed to have things their way, when people like me and you must have nothing to say? And when ministers in the government start to launch their attack, you never hear this ERC come out and talk about that. They send a policeman all the way to New York. This fella went up there to serve a customer and ring for work. Under they say, this government decide to fabricate a case, but like they forget the warning they get from Latisha James. The vice president is prepared to use a shallow life. Because of this kind of abuse, he don't have a wife. I still singing, black people in learning. Just the other day, I hope your man see help is on the way.
To remove the Guyana. This is it. The launch of the APNU Coalition campaign on Sunday, July 6th on the Square of the Revolution from 4 p.m. Come meet our candidates. Come out and hear about our people-centered development strategy that puts people first. Come hear from our Prime Ministerial candidate, Jurita Fernandez, our presidential candidate, Aubrey C. Norton, and others. On Sunday, July 6th from 4 p.m., the Square of the Revolution will vibrate with a people-powered campaign. APNU, putting people first.
We ready, time to remove the curse. I'm feeling it now.
All right, so today we are here at Club Twilight up in Buxton, and we are here to talk about all that's going on up here. Trust me, if you are on the East Coast, you're in Buxton, you're in Tongue, you're looking for a place to get away to, this is the place. The Cutters, mwah. Listen, I'll be having some just now again. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, the ambience is beautiful, fully air conditioned. The decor is on point. The music's on point. Everything's on point. It's just me. I need some work. But everything else that belongs to this club here is on point. So if you want to find a nice little place where you can just drive out of town and have some drinks, have some food, you can call, you can order your stuff and just take it. You don't have to stay. Or if you want to stay here, that's what's up. And of course, they have special events for Valentine's. You can rent a hall. You can rent a hall, honey. You can rent a hall for weddings, for birthday parties, to have a bash. I hope he edits that out. But you know, whatever it is, this is definitely the place to be. So it's on Sideline Dam. You definitely want to ensure that you check this place out. But it's on your to-do list. All right, on your to-do list. This is definitely the place to check out, you know, a really cool, chill spot here in Buxton. I like this. Buxton needed this. We needed this. I needed this. You definitely needed too. Thank you. All right, so you might be wondering where we are. Still in Buxton at Club Twilight. That's where we are. So Club Twilight also has like an Airbnb as well. So you could come, drink, drunk, and come in the back here and lie down. Look at that. Look at that. Perfection. And the people come in the room and so on. The bed sheet matching the blind, matching the carpet, matching the this, matching the that. We know but we things in Buxton don't play with we. So definitely if you want to come and you may be having a wedding or whatever and you just want to overnight and just have a good time because you're going to be drunk. We got too much road accidents. So you definitely want to come drink, have a good time. They have several rooms that you can rent. You have your toilet, you have your bath, you have your sink, you have your dining area, you have the bed. This is nice. I like it. Anyways, to my friends and my family, if you're looking for me, I'll be overnighting. Also for those persons who are traveling in from overseas, you want a nice, cozy place out of town, then Club Twilight, call them up, look them up on social media. They have their own Facebook page and ensure that you come up the side and have a good time. Have a good time. Have a good time. I'm sorry. That's it.
Don't be a victim. Beat the heat with EC Crystals. Party ice in large and small quantities. Call 682-7981 or visit us at Club Twilight, Sideline Dam, Buxton North. EC Crystals, pure party ice.
Planning a party? Worry no more. We have all the supplies you need. At EC Party Rentals, we have folding chairs, folding tables, square tables, round tables, long tables, short tables, big tables. We have chairs, red chairs, gold chairs, white chairs, crystal chairs, chairs of all type, throne chairs. What you want, we have. Food warmers, coolers, ice, beverages. At EC Party Rentals, we have what you need to have a good time. You plan the party, we do the work. Call us 622-5933. EC Party Rentals. Let's keep your party going.
You can get meat anywhere, but for the best cuts of chicken, beef, pork, mutton, and lots more, check out T&W Harris Butcher Shop located in the East Ramveld Market Meat Section. Call us on 609-7168, 641-4494. Ask for Rastaman. T&W Harris Butcher Shop for the best in fresh cut meats and lots more.
Are you looking for tents to rent? Well, look no further. At EC Party Rentals, Sideline Dam, Buxton North, we have tents in all sizes and colors. All sizes of tents we have. Small tents, big tents, medium tents, extra large tents. Call us on 622-5933. We have what you need. EC Party Rentals. Big on tents.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public face. Then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup. Look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fear in the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment. And you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows. One set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You hide the corruption inside the cup. Look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clout. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them, they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Barrett and Sue, cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he He done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up. The people fed up, you hide the corruption inside the cup. Look how evil set up. The people fed up. I done fed up by the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up by the unemployment racism and the lie they say one Guyana. Cause when you look with the oil money going, circulate with one set of banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up.
Time to rise up, time to move up.
Hey, be a new in the place.
Hey, we put people first. From Essequibo straight to Berbice, Guyana people want justice and peace. From quarantine water to Demerara Shore, we tire promises, we want more. No more lies, no more disguise. It's time for we dreams to realize. We coming strong with people power. APNU hour, this is we hour. APNU, say people first. We not gonna stop till the blessings burst. APNU, we putting people first. Time to rise up, break the curse. Future bright like a brand new day. We join lead in a real big way. APNU, say people first. From the top to the bottom, love, unity blazing, vision clear. Guyanese strong, no space for fear. We got the rhythm, we got the fire, lifting every village higher and higher. No more fights, no more delay. We come to build Guyana today. From Lettenbush to Bartica Base, every face got a place in this race. We done with the brokenness, done with the slack. We're taking the country forward, no turning back. Who you voting? APNU. Why we voting? Tell the nation. Let we go and claim the prize. APNU, we putting people first. Time to rise up, break the curse. Future bright like a brand new day. We join lead in a real big way. APNU, say people first. From the top to the bottom, love, unity blazing, vision clear. Guyanese strong, no space for fear. Every youth, every elder stand tall. This Guyana belong to us all. From the market woman to the king cutter hand, we building up this blessed land. APNU got the plan, got the drive. Putting people first, keeping up alive. So wind up, jump up, move with pride. We waving them flag nationwide. Say, are you ready? Say we go vote. Say APNU. People first. APNU, we putting people first. Time to rise up, break the curse. Future bright like a brand new day. We join lead in a real big way. APNU, say people first. From the top to the bottom, love, unity blazing, vision clear. Guyanese strong, no space for fear. We outside in sun and rain. We putting people first again. APNU, we lead the line. Time for Guyana to rise and shine.
A thumbs up if you could hear me. Morning, are you morning? Welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Time. It is 20 minutes to the 8 o'clock hour on a Monday. It's Monday, the 30th day of June in the year 2025. In case you didn't realize and you didn't know, my birth month started since the 12th of June because I am a man who celebrates for months. I don't celebrate no one day birthday. I celebrate all month. And so my birthday is on the 12th of July. You remember that? Good. Hope you all start putting together them little package to me, you know. This year I want a Lamborghini. Here? This is my Lamborghini year. I'm a Lamborghini year. So y'all gotta get me a Lamborghini for my birthday this year. Or I could settle for Volkswagen, you know. But listen, don't let pressure you. Whatever y'all could afford. I'm gonna take what y'all could give. But don't give me any old thing, you know. But because I ain't any old man. And I ain't any old hoe. Good. I got pride. Good. Morning, welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Time. How you been? How was your weekend? How was last night? How you wake up feeling this morning? Any pains and aches in them knees and so? You know, I am from a generation where they start making replacement parts, I understand, for this model. So we gotta take care of this model. We really gotta take care of this model, Don't let on broke. They're easy to find. Good. It is time for us to talk. It's Monday morning, this and that. Monday morning, this and that. And I'm talking to my people on TikTok too. So TikTokers, good morning. Welcome to the program. Those of you who want to be more interactive on the program, you can come across Cam's TV on Facebook and Cam's TV on YouTube. Right? Well, Neil Newton is asking who will clear this Lamborghini. Those who know me know by now that I am a man of integrity. They say self-recommendation is self-praise is no recommendation. And but I'm saying this to you. I consider myself a man of integrity. I usually tell people my character is my biggest asset. And I don't like compromises. I don't like put myself in situations that gonna land me in trouble, whether now or in the future. And so guess what? I ain't calling no president to clear me Lamborghini. If I ain't got money for clear Lamborghini, then I ain't gonna take Lamborghini. If it's a Toyota I could clear, then I gonna deal with Toyota, because at the end of the day, I don't like people getting nothing over me to say, you remember I did do this for you, remember I did do that for you. Because I did this for you, you must do this for me. I am the kind of person, I don't like strings attached. I like to act hard. I like cuss anybody who come into my car and come wrong. And so I want in the middle of me cussing you. Right? You're going to tell me, but you're ungrateful, sorry for Magadag bite you. No. You know that one them thing though. By then the Lamborghini come is close to election time, so I ain't gonna got no power to do anything for me anyhow. Right? That's number one. Number two, I ain't gonna put Leader Norton in that compromising position. No, that's not fair. Why you want to put people under pressure? Right? Says Sina say you ain't got a Lamborghini face. No, me ain't got a Lamborghini face. Me face look to you like a car. Why you don't go face the mirror? Or the particular person will give birth to you. What is wrong with you, really? Yeah? See now, right? You see, but you not see right. Anyways, let me target things this Monday morning. They got a lot of things to talk about. Sometimes you don't know where to start. Talkers, give me some tap on the screen there. Big up yourself. You hear me? There are a lot of things I want to talk about. But before I talk, I want to play this song for you. This is where my message is this morning. Who are you going to vote for? There's a question. Who are you going to vote for? Everybody prepare for elections in September, but who will you vote for? Here, Bojo Banton for you. It's politics time again. Who you going to vote for? Listen to Bojo.
This week, we're hosting a free trading and investing.
I invited Bojo. Why y'all just jump into people places like them scene around? Y'all like they're in the middle of everything like Wednesday?
Why my people suffer so bad?
Why my people suffer so bad?
Really sad. Is it a misplaced melancholy? Boy. Well, it's politics time.
Are
you gonna vote now? My people may talk. It's politics time. Are you gonna vote now? My God. Rise up, fall and suffer. Rise and take your stance again. He who fights and run away will live to fight another day. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? You people may talk. It's politics time again now. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. It's the right and it's the duty of my citizens. The Constitution, last time we did a joke. Read up our promises and hopeless hope. Ballot box must be empty, vote house closed. No one arm, no one through the color. No matter how we teach, they'll fuck forget easier. Look, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. We all shall vote, yeah, yeah, yeah. It is Rasta them talking. Look here, bloodshed from Rima. Down in the valley, can't be here, yeah. Question has become a gunman compound. No place for people with citizenship, Lord. Them crying relentlessly, yeah. You people moving every minute, every hour. Gunshot falling like hell shower. Ooh, yeah. It's politics time again. Well, are you gonna vote now? Good people need talk. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now?
It's politics time again. Now you're going to vote now. Let me take a minute here. Pause in Bojo Banton because I want to ask the scripts this. Are you going to vote, brethren and sisters? Are you going to vote? Don't let it use your downtrodden situation to cause you to compromise the possibility of your upliftment. Understand this. Don't let it use your downtrodden situation to compromise the possibilities of your upliftment. In other words, don't let it get no. Don't let it buy your vote. And then after September 1st, you're in a worse position that you are in. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that, but I want you to think about that. What are your options? What is available to you? It's politics time again. What your man says.
And a little one, we want. And a little preach, we preach. Still they bust up their big guns on the street, Lord. Killing people, all there in the sea. Who is it that I'm on is speaking? Who is it that is controlling the system? Three parties, and I'm not dancing. Who is it? Who is she? It's your campaign time. Ooh, when it's politics time again, the people are crying out. Ooh, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? But we won't live on fret when the year that we breathe becomes and we know that guide we will never fret. Whenever you're ready, we're ready. No more spot check. But your life where you're heavy. Have pure respect, Lord, no war. No war. Yeah. Well, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Who is worthy? Who is worthy? It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Vote people cry. It's the right of senior citizens to vote by the bonded constitution. Long time it need a joke. We are fed up with promises and hopeless hope. Ballot box must be empty. Vote out closed. No one harm, no one choose the color of them clothes. Yeah, some just play greedy. No matter how it takes, they'll forget easier. It's politics time again. Are you gonna
vote now? It's politics time again. You're gonna vote now. I see Tony Sinner. I say, you're gonna vote for win. We invest in nation. Oh, this Team Mohammed. I'm gonna vote for Team Mohammed. I want to address the Team Mohammed situation, but I ain't gonna do it right now. Y'all share the live, build the viewership, and then we're going to talk about Team Mohammed situation. I know I got a lot of people who like Team Mohammed and like Azzuddin Mohammed. They see as perhaps the greatest philanthropist that ever walked the face of the GT. Right? We're going to talk about that. But let me talk about this first. Last week, I tell y'all the jail was in Buxton. And the agency gave out 75, we call it? Irrigation contract, something like that. To Buxtonians and 25 bridges or something like that. Maintenance for bridges. Yeah. But they also give out, what is it, $168 million in sea defense contract? Or they mentioned that they got $168 million sea defense contract going on in front of Buxton there. And I said to you, remember I said to you, pull all the contracts that Gergil give out to Buxtonians according to them together, they ain't gonna make $100 million. They can't compare to that $168 million or how much that was given to that singular contracting agency. So when I got some people who are line up, yeah, the PPP give them Buxtonian things. I want you all to understand this. Buxtonians are getting the crumbs, and I'm going to demonstrate to you why you are getting the crumbs. And I usually talk about Buxton because I live in Buxton and I see firsthand what happens in Buxton. But the same obtains to African Guyanese communities. The same obtains to African Guyanese communities across this country. Right? The same obtains for African Guyanese communities across this country. You are getting the crumbs and you have to feel that big up yourself, you are getting a whole lot. You ain't getting a whole lot, brothers. You ain't getting a whole lot, sisters. The contracts that the irrigation contracts or maintenance contracts, sanitation contracts, whatever they call them, the 75 contracts that were given out, let me tell you that those contracts are nothing new. They were always there. Through the Regional Democratic Council, through the Neighborhood Democratic Council, trench maintenance, as we call it, trench cleaning and maintenance was always there. You have a major cleaning, let's say at the beginning of the year, and then you were supposed to have monthly maintenance contracts. So you got a big money, and it's not big money. I think it's about $50 a rod, if it's so much, $50 a rod to clean the trench. Clean. Check out do all the heavy lifting and thing. Clean the trench. Or trenches in this instance. And when you're done doing that, after the major cleaning, you get maintenance contract. The maintenance is about half of the cleaning amount per rod. They were always there. They used to come through advertisement at the NDC, and the contracts used to be signed with the RDC. Some of those contracts used to be signed with the NDIA, National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, an arm of the Ministry of Agriculture. And the rule at that time, as far as I know, for the greater part, those contracts were to be given to people in the neighborhood. So Buxtonians were always getting those maintenance contracts. And I'm hearing 75 lots now. I can't, at least at this time, enumerate the 75 lots. But I know previously it used to be from the what we call the communal area to right away, from right away maybe to service or conservancy somewhere up there, and that would have obtained for Friendship East, Friendship West, Buxton East, Buxton West. That's the backland area. Then you come to the middle section, the same thing. Then you come to, let me say, section B area, the same thing. And then you come to section A, which is the same thing. Here they tell you that is south, center, and north of the village, I think. So go and research it for yourself and see if this is any new thing. New persons might have gotten the contracts, perhaps. I don't know. Right? But this big announcement in the public media that Edgel came to Buxton and he gives 75 contracts. That's a norm. Those contracts have always been there, or at least the requirement to maintain those canals have always been there. Edgel hasn't done anything for Buxtonians by giving them petty contracts. And so the Buxtonian youths especially, and the African Guyanese youths around this country who are not of faith, who don't know about these things, I hope by some, I want to call it magic, you will sit at the feet of your elders and you will do research and you will ask questions, and so you can understand from a historical point of view that these people are doing nothing for you except giving you crumbs. Why they thought it important to come and sit in Tipperary or Buxton? And wax lyrical about your interest and your well-being and give you 75 contracts? Because there's an election in September. There's an election 2 months from now, you could see. And they want to come to you with a trickery. They want to tell you foolishness because well, one of the members of parliament say African Guyanese youths, they are fertile ground. Their minds are fertile grounds. So we pack stupidness inside them, we mislead them and we influence them. They're fertile minds, fertile grounds to be influenced. And so they come in and they give these petty contracts. So yeah, boy, from nothing to something. From nothing to something. How long does something lasts? How much do you really get from this something? At the end of doing a contract, can you buy a piece of equipment that will make your job easier should you get the next contract? At the end of doing a contract, is there any assurance that the possibility exists that you will get another contract? And if your answer to these questions is no, which I am positive is no, you ain't got no guarantee the PPP coming to you after the next election to give you anything. They're playing you for a fool. You know what has happened? After Ejel left the Bury Hall, whenever, was it Thursday or Friday? I understand there was a meeting at the Buxton Falls NDC office compound at least Saturday. I'm going to tell you how Ejel's representative. As a matter of fact, according to somebody, it was Ejel's secretary that went to the meeting. Not Ejel. Ejel didn't go there. He sent his secretary. A secretary, whichever one you want to call it. But here it is. You remember I'm always talking about the markets? Remember I'm always talking about the markets, how many phases Monrepo market get, and right now they're in a third phase, I think. Including the phase where they had to break up the old market because the PPP supporters said they didn't want it built, so and they got to build it back how they want it. Y'all remember that? And remember, I keep telling you about Lusignan market tarmac that now is a sheltered market space. And it got police outposts and everything. And I said to you, look around this country, and you're going to see in major Indian communities where the PPP gets its support, markets are being taken care of. And the importance of having a market structure like the one perhaps like Monrepo, because you can stock your product there and you don't have to incur transportation costs to take it in and to bring it out, carriage in and carriage out. And so you don't have to sell at an exorbitant cost to make a profit because it's a one-time carriage in cost you get. Remember, I tell you, compare what happened in African Guyanese villages because they ain't got no market like that, and they got to pay a taxi to bring out their thing, and they got to pay a taxi to carry in the thing. And so every day the operating costs going up because every time they bring out the thing and it didn't sell, and they carry it in and it didn't sell, is a cost added to it. And so your business suffering because you got to sell at a higher cost than they're going to sell at Lusignan and they're going to sell at Monrepo because they ain't got the expenses like you have. For the simple fact that they got a market and you ain't got none. You remember that? Good. And remember when Son Jordan said, like we all know, they listen to these programs and they take ideas. I want to say they steal it. They got ideas. And they recognize the things that are important to Black people and they recognize the things that are important to Guyanese. Because leave them by themselves, they ain't got no time with what's important to you. And then election time, they come to tell you, we recognize you got needs and we're going to deal with them for you. So Saturday morning, the Secretary of Edgel turned up at the Buxton Falls in the DC office, according to what I understand, to tell them that the government going to build back Buxton Market. Hooray! The government going to build back Buxton Market. But let me say it first, or let me say that I said it first. I said, when the APNU gets into government, one of the projects first and foremost on my mind must be a multi-storied complex market in Buxton, taking up the current space that the market is in and turning in an L and go behind the health center because they got the land there. Y'all remember me saying it? But I'm repeating it if you didn't remember me saying it. So here I'm been preaching about markets all the time. And it will be one of the election issues when they start to talk to Buxtonians about how they're going to vote and why they must vote. Let me go and take the wind out of the sail and tell Buxtonians that we're going to build a market for them. I have no doubt that the PPP will build a market for you. But I have doubt that the PPP is going to give you the best possible market that you will succeed in. I have doubt that they will give you the best possible market for you to succeed. I doubt they will give you any market that will be comparable to Lenora and Monrepo and even Lusignan. And so let me remind you this. It's election time. You don't get a lot of suitors. It's like a girl coming of age. Everybody want to be she man. Everybody gonna also she. Everybody gonna make she a promise. Some gonna overdo it because they want to get the edge. Some gonna promise moons and stars. Some gonna say gonna go to space. All kinds of things they're gonna promise. But that girl has the challenge of sitting back and assessing her suitors. Maybe with the help of her parents, if she did, to tell them that they're also in shape. And weigh our chances and say, which of these clones is most likely to deliver their promise? Which of these clones is most likely to be genuine to me? And there's a challenge y'all got. That's a challenge. You've seen the PPP in office. For the last 4+ years, they've been doing the thing. Predominantly in Indo-Guyanese area. Forget that African Guyanese areas exist. And then in the last few months election, they come and say, oh, y'all exist. We're going to build market for y'all. We're going to get y'all maintenance contract. We're going to fix y'all roads. Do you believe the PPP can achieve any of those things in the next 2 months? If you believe that, then I got to be Christ returned. I'm just looking for something outrageous. I'm not being blasphemous. I just want something outrageous. Or let me get a little slack. If you believe that, I got 4 penises. Because they can't do all of that which they're telling you they're going to do in 2 months. And in short, what they're saying to you, vote for me, put me back in office, we're going to build market for you. What kind of fool are you? Yeah, your fertile minds to be influenced, but with such foolishness, then you're intellectually lazy, you're brain dead. Y'all don't buy it. Don't buy it. I beg y'all, don't buy it. The PPP had multiple opportunities to do good by Guyanese and to show that they can consider the interest and well-being of African Guyanese, especially, among others. And they haven't done that. But you going to take these fair promises in the 2 months leading up to an election. Don't do it. I beg you, don't do it. Buxtonians are in a unique position, I dare argue right now. In the APNU-WPA coalition, you got David Hines. He could be a next vice president. You got myself. I could be another minister. You got Ian Abrams. He could be another minister. So the possibility is Buxtonians could get 3 ministers in the seat of government, you know. If I were in your position, I would place my bet on the APNU-WPA coalition. Especially that you know them 3 Buxtonians that I talk about. And we're not talking about restriction to minister and vice president and parliament and so on. We're talking about putting Buxtonians in the National Assembly. We're talking about putting Buxtonians in the regional government. We're talking about putting Buxtonians in ministries as technocrats and permanent secretaries and so on and so forth. Buxton I'm talking to this morning. Place your bet on them. Take your vote and vote solidly for the APNU-WPA coalition because you know representation there for you. And you know that we're going to deliver in your interests. And then we run around the country and talk to African Guyanese. Because African Guyanese by now recognize who fight for them every single day. Every single day they recognize who fight for them. And so I'm saying to African Guyanese, place your bet on the APNU-WPA coalition. It's not all WPA been fighting for you. Even if you like a lot of y'all like arguing, a lot of people like, PNC ain't doing enough for we. WPA is right there sitting right on top of the table with them. And we're going to hold them accountable and we're going to force them to deliver. Put your bet on the APNU-WPA coalition. This is not no PPP. African Guyanese go as this and that and the other, and they can't talk for you. They can't talk for you. Emerson is saying he believes Buxtonian youths are still hurt by going down. Yeah, that's why when your own lungs bite you well bit, you just feel the pain, you just vex the land. But does that mean you allow somebody else loves to bite you and forgive them? I'm tired of going back to history to show our young people how the PPP and government is bad for African Guyanese and Buxtonians in particular. Go back to the days when they were murdering your uncles and your aunts and your cousins and your brothers. Just recently, the murder youth man named Randy Samuels, I think, a Buxton youth man. Who make you think you're going to be different? Why you think you're going to be different? because there's a lull, because they step back, because it's election year and election time, they come into you with smile. Even crocodiles cry when they eat in the prey. You ever hear people talk about crocodile tears? They think it's tears of sadness? It's tears of freaking joy. Satisfaction. No. All right. Y'all say no vote for the PPP because the PPP used to murder we brothers and sisters in the PPP battery and the PPP discriminating and the PPP racist. We said, I say all of them. But Mohammed moving from left, right, and center of the country, he giving black people things. He giving black youths things. And so we gonna vote for Mohammed. Well, yeah, Yagalan. Because it's 6 for one and half a dozen for the other. A vote for Mohammed is a vote for the PPP. I'm going to show you why I said it and why I know it. I'm going to show you why I said it and why I know it. A vote for Mohammed is a vote for the PPP. According to youth man coming out from one of them so George, some communities say, Mohammed got the youths locked down, Mohammed got enough money, he just give them youths and he just give them other things. He tell me who's the other things, I can't tell you who's the other things. Because I ain't got no proof that he gives them other things. But I know before the Mohammeds were sanctioned, they were dealers in other things. And I know, this I can tell you, that Shell Mohammed said, when Donna McKinnon was murdered in front of PPP, of the 3 guns that were there, 1 belonged to him. One belonged to him. I don't know if his gun was used to kill Don McKinnon, but I know he sold guns to the Apache, as we like to say. I know from his own utterances, he provided gun to PPP, and PPP used gun to kill a black sister named Donna McKinnon. Oh, then, if you arming people to do me harm, I could trust you when you go around the black and come around and say, I got your interest at heart. Tell me. Or I could trust you when you go around the black and come around and say, I got your interest at heart. Tell me. Then I know from your own utterances, you've been providing things to people who don't have my interest at heart to do harm to me. You tell me that. And then tell me how it is you think that you could vote to win. We invest in nation, or we invest in ourselves. We've been sanctioned by the US government for hundreds of millions of dollars stolen from the people of this nation, even while we were not in government. Imagine when we're in government and we get a cloak of protection like Ali and Jack Dio and Nandalal. How much more we can thief from the people of this nation. And don't tell me, I am Mohammed is billionaire. The man don't sell for life, the man don't thief nothing. You think the Mohammeds are the richest suckers in this country? I got to use the F-word, but you have to forgive me. You think the Mohammeds are the richest people in this country? The Mohammeds pale in comparison to the riches that the thieves like Jack Dio and Nandalal and Irfan Ali, all of them get. You know, within months of becoming the Minister of Home, Minister of Housing, the amount of wealth Ali obtained in this country, that within a year becoming the Minister of Housing, he was able to renovate a property for over $100 million. And that is as Minister of Home Affairs, a Minister of Housing, a simple minister. Do you tell yourself that as president and whoever you want to call them banner the poor, the Mohammeds? And if they're richer than the Mohammeds, and they're thieving day in, day out, whether you like it or not, they're thieving. Can you imagine the Mohammeds who it is alleged been thieving outside the government, what they're going to do in government? Y'all talk to me. Talk to me. Let's be realistic. But it's a simplistic kind of discussion, man. Why your vote shouldn't go to Mohammed. Here, why your vote really shouldn't go to Mohammed. I remember a party in Anog. Who was the founder of Anog? Oh, shoots. A PPP bigwig name right from Quran. Huh? Anog was formed by a PPP bigwig named Ralph Quran in the last election, like all the other small parties that were formed. And when they went into government, went into parliament, which is government, the legislative arm of government, when they went into parliament, based on the few votes that they get from people who decide that, hey, we ain't gonna vote for PPP, we ain't gonna vote for PNC and the coalition, so we gonna vote for these small parties. When they get into parliament, what did they do with their votes? Ask Asha Kesu how she became deputy speaker. Ask Schumann how he became deputy speaker. And ask them who they were voting with in the National Assembly, despite the fact they were supposed to be part of the opposition. And when you form a conclusion on that, then I hope you're concluding that these small parties were formed by the PPP and the acolytes of the PPP to pull votes away from the coalition and the opposition to the PPP and to go into parliament and support the PPP, whether they were doing good or bad. A win for the PPP in any which way. That is what happened in the 2020 election. But here what happened? Mohammed is a new kid and a black. Mohammed is youth. The more people are race. We ain't got time with race. The man don't show no race. The man just give black people things. He gets to every ethnicity. How much does he really give? You remember the widow's mite? Those of you who are good Christians, you remember some part in the Bible say that while everybody was taking from what they have or had to give, the widow turned up and she said, well, I know much, this is all that I have. All that I have. It was less in the eyes of all of them. She was even less than all of them. But in the eyes of the Creator, it was the most important gift because it was all that she had. And so if this multi-billionaire, according to you, you want to have a little scooter, a 100,000 scooter, and drop in the ocean, them money though, let's use them kind of money though for lunch on a regular day with their friends. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about why a vote for Azruddin Mohammed win is a vote for PPP. Let me break it down for you. First and foremost, the party that was formed by Ralph Ramkaran has now joined force with Azruddin Party. So Ralph Ramkaran Party, remember Ralph Ramkaran was a PPP bigwig who formed a party. They got seat in the National Assembly, and them seats end up being used to support the PPP. The same party now has joined forces with Azruddin Party. Azruddin was saying that he's fighting against the PPP because the PPP wicked and the PPP are looking after people. And so it's two things that I'm there. Anog has been sent to infiltrate and control Azruddin Party, or they've been cut from the same cloth. You interpret it how you want it. But I'm going to give you more information to interpret it. I ain't going to let you out in the wind until you interpret it. I remember Jagio came out a couple months ago when Modi was here. When Modi came and he declared that Guyana was a little India. Y'all remember that? Do you remember Jagio revealed 2 children? I think it was 2 girls. He said, these are my children. Now that I didn't mention it to you before, I'm repeating it because I mentioned it to you before. And it is alleged, because I didn't be there when they lie down and skin up on that fun together. It is alleged that there's a certain doctor by the name of France at the Georgetown Hospital who is the mother of those children. When the PPP got back into power in 2020, it is alleged that she superseded a whole long list of people at the Ghana Public Hospital Corporation, GPHC. It is alleged it's the mother of those 2 children she named France. The leader of ANOG currently is Dr. Mark France. Do you see a relationship there? It's your brother. So as we like to say, murder not Kamala or not, is Jagio brother-in-law. It is alleged. And if Jagio's alleged brother-in-law leads a political party and he chooses to join up with Azzuddin Mohammed's party, it's because they want to see Jagio out of government, right? This man got so much hatred for his sister and Jagio Shiman, allegedly, right? Or is it because we want to ensure that we circle the wagons and we strengthen the dynasty? Let me call it that. Eh? All y'all scrapes as y'all call yourself and the one call y'all. Take your chances. Gamble your future away. Azzuddin Mohammed and ANOG. I ain't got nothing else to tell you. But come the 2nd of September, after the elections, y'all dare to give Azzuddin your vote. Y'all dare to give the PPP your vote. And y'all black backside can realize where Congo is dry. The lines are open 6225933 is the number to call you. Tune to the Guyanese Morning Time. This is Mr. Amsterdam. I'm your host. The lines are open. Talkers, sorry, you got to call me over at 6225933 and let's have a talk. 6225933. Join me over at YouTube and Facebook. Cam's TV Live. Come let me talk. I want to hear your opinions, and I want those who are on Facebook and YouTube. That's where the biggest audience is right now. I want y'all join me over there. Come let me get. Let me see if you can hear me while I take these calls. Call here on. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you and all my black brothers and sisters in Guyana. Happy morning to all of you guys. I love your song you played this morning. Those are conscious songs for the election now. As Flash Gordon promised, that these 2 months I'll be talking to my young brothers and sisters in Guyana. And my message to them, to these words, what kind of fool do you think I am? They have to demonstrate that word come first of September towards the wicked government. I love you mentioning the word too. Demonstrate. You don't even acknowledge that word, what you mentioned today. It means a lot to the young people them. That is what Flash Gordon always said, because those 2 words bound together, demonstrate and sacrifice. That's why Flash Gordon encourage my black man, but said, if you want victory, you got to put fire and smoke up in the air. For Jagio, them get victory 2020, then young people go in Manjipur and put fire and smoke up in the air and block the road for hours. Fire and smoke is important. For Manjipur get that big money and that fancy market. Manjipur people, What Jagyo plan? What Mad Max said Jagyo plan? They put fire and smoke. And when Cody girl said, pour more gas, let black man go jail for that. Young black people, Flash Garden is saying, demonstrate the words, what kind of fool do you think I am? Let me say this a couple words before I come off the program this morning. I'm going to tell me every good has come to end and every bad has come to end. When I mentioned Friday, but what a judge, that Cody judge did to our black young brother, Baby Skello, I was making reference with a similar case in America. I said that judge ruled with a word of wisdom, but that Cody lady ruled with these words, Apanjat, Cody for Cody. A brother challenged me, but he didn't understand what we said. I never said the boy was right to damage Jesus statue and Mary statue in the church when he went in and do that. We were making reference with the two different rulings because the judge said, "No, my boy," and said, "Go and seek help, go and test your brain, see if you're retarded." And the judge gave him a next day to come back. But the judge, the same, almost same story, Baby Skello only sing and use a decent language in his song about Cody God. But you throw the key. You build a monster that you cannot destroy tomorrow, judge. Let's God talk to you this morning under the word of God. Because we go so far and said, God forbid, you build Skello with a hatred now for Cody people what he didn't have before, you know. Because in America, I could remember when an artist just sing and in them song, airs and call women bitches, I sharp I stop that nonsense. Don't do it. You are disrespecting women in the world. But Uncharted never called for them to go to jail and judge them with jail. I don't know if my brother understand me. It is not my duty to tell anybody what bitches for getting your own, not you, because the word of God said, every man have to give account of you. But when you make a reference, only judges take advantage on Baby Skello. And it's time come 1st of May. That nonsense must stop on 1st of September. That nonsense must stop with people. Live and let others live. We are a human being. Our blood is red. We don't get God to give Cody blood and black man blood. We got to stop, rule, and live by Jagan word. On the land, and you go own black man, young people, that is Jagan word, not Flash God, me only repeat. On the land, you go own black man, you go kill them. If you go punish them, black people wake up and smell the coffee, young people. Thank you for your time, I gotta go.
Thank you for that call. The line remain on 6225933 is the number to call. Doctors, can you hear me? It would be nice to have you over on Facebook and YouTube right now. You know, I want you to call and share your opinions with those who are on YouTube and Facebook. Good. I want us to engage each other. So come across. Give me some taps and talk on TikTok and come across and make 2 phone call and let the thing continue. Let me talk the things. Because you are tuned to the Guyanese Morning Time. I am your host, Kiraki Amsterdam. Many of you would see me on YouTube, on TikTok as. Now see me on TikTok as Cams TV. That is why I carry this name, Cams TV, because of this morning program. Call it live. You're on. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you, Mr. Amsterdam. Brand new Monday morning. Good morning to everybody in Guyana. Good morning to everyone in the Guyanese diaspora. Good morning to all Guyanese, wherever we may be. I totally subject of your discussion this morning on a vote for Muhammad is a vote for the PPP. I'm gonna come back to that. Can you hear me, sir? Just checking. Are you there?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. I want to ask
In case you can hear me, you are muted, sir. I don't know who muted you.
Yeah,
Good.
it's on my face. Yeah. There are at least 2,000 polling stations in Guyana. And that reasonably would mean that there are at least 2,000 police stations in Guyana at a bare minimum. This morning, the topic on your headline of your Facebook page says, how are you going to vote? And it prompted me to talk about an age-old concern about Guyanese. Every day in Guyana, what I've noticed is that someone has been picked up based upon the 72-hour stop and detain rule in Guyana. Stop and detain, 72 hours. Mingo, Myers, Christopher Jones, Ogunse, many people. And that stop and detain means it's 3 days you're locked up. You aren't charged, you're just locked up because they're investigating you. Now, the law says you're innocent until proven guilty, or you're presumed to be innocent until proven guilty. So if you locked up on the 30th of August and the 31st of August, or you locked up anywhere around then, when comes September the 1st, you still in detention. How are you going to get to vote? You ain't guilty. You're not guilty. Most times when people are on 72 hours stop and detain, when they release you, they say, oh, well, we didn't find anything and the people didn't follow up, so we decided to release you. So most of the time, you could do the percentages. People who are arrested on a 72-hour stop and detain for 3 days aren't really found guilty. So my question is, how are those people going to vote come September the 1st? And there are at least 2,000 stations across Guyana. And every day, based upon my experience, because I've been checking, every police station at least picks up somebody on a stop and detain. If you don't know, let me tell you. So at least 2,000 people on a daily basis are being arrested on a stop and detain. That's at least 2,000 people come September the 1st would not be able to vote. Now you do the math and you tell me about voter suppression and disenfranchisement. I'm asking the question to political leaders and GCOM persons. When we talk about rigging, that's an issue to look into seriously. I don't got much time, but the Rule 72 is unconstitutional from where I'm standing. It can't stand the test of the courtroom. But they allow it to go. Commanders and everybody, DPP, everybody uphold 72 stop and detain. Ask Mingo and Christopher Jones what they think about 72 hours stop and detain. It's now been used as a political tool. The question this morning for the topic is, how are we going to vote? And we can't vote if people are dispossessing us of access to the polls, using the Constitution to do it. And the Rule 72. Sorry, sir? Okay, yes. My second point, on the percentages, you said a vote for Muhammad is a vote for the PPP. I totally agree. Because while persons, and to follow up on what you say, because persons will go in the party, in the National Assembly as separate parties, but you can rest assured that those persons in Muhammad's party, they're going to vote ideologically the same way that the PPP has been voting, because Muhammad and the PPP ideologically are friends. They only fell out because, but ideologically, that's how people vote. People vote based upon ideology. Has Muhammad's ideology changed fundamentally? No. So the people that align themselves, how are they going to vote in the National Assembly. They're going to follow along ideological lines. So when Jack Dio and Ali and them want to dismantle certain patrimonies, like ancestral lands, you tell me what's going to happen to that. When they want to vote to get rid of Mashramani from February the 23rd, because they know of how it's structured in the Constitution, concerning your black patrimonies, what you going to do about that? You see? So don't think that by voting for Muhammad that you're voting, or he going to give you a house lot. You see? Some of us can't see further than our hands in front of our faces. Muhammad has demonstrated to you that for the majority of their existence, they have been in bed with the PPP. Why? It's because they identify with PPP principles. Those things haven't changed. So a vote for Muhammad again will be a vote for the PPP. Once again, Mr. Amsterdam, thanking you for giving me the time.
Thank you for your call. The lines remain open. 6225923 is the number to call. You tune to the Guyanese morning time. It is 23 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. This program stops at 9, right? Come here, all right, Watty. This program stopping at 9, right? Good. But while I'm at it, let me remind you that we got Zelle, we got Cash App, we got MoneyGram, we got Western Union, we got MMG. Play your part. Contribute to the upkeep of the program. We have to continue to educate our people. You know, one of the things is, at least from where I sit, people must not be able to come and say, I didn't know. And that is why I put myself out on a limb every day to bring the pertinent facts to you. Because education is supposed to change attitude. Once you know, you must decide to do with the information that you got. I can't whip you and put you in the poll booth and say, what APNU WPA? What APNU? I can give you information that will guide your choice. Right? The question, it comes down to one thing right now. It basically comes down to...
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon.
Go ahead,
I
Paul.
listened to all that was being said. Now with Bokov, you say about Muhammad, it is so true, and I agree with him 100%. And I hope that the young people see through Muhammad for who he really is. Imagine his uncle put out a voice note, a little passage on Muhammad, telling people not to vote for him because he's no good. If we come from river bottom and say Asaga fever, who you got to believe? Now, from one of my sources, I got a troubling report that the teachers now at least starting the East in Borby's there, where nurses went into this school, primary school, and took blood tests from children in the primary school. Now I want people out there to listen and to know that's a no-no. The nurse visiting the school, because I used to be visiting school, we used to visit the school to check to see if the children were fully well vaccinated or immunized with diphtheria, tetanus, whooping cough, mumps, rubella, measles, if they had BCG. That is what we did. Along with that, we would like see if they got bad teeth. We didn't really go to see if they got bad teeth so that the dentist could have checked them out. But when it came to investigations, because when you do blood, you're doing investigation. There is no need for a school to go into such an intrusive investigation on any student. That investigation should be done by the parents. If you, a teacher, notice a child might be lagging, like him playing and studying, you could call in the parents and advise the parents to take the child to the hospital so that they know when you see the doctor could prescribe a look, we want blood work. But no nurses to come to any school and take off blood samples from children. What really going on? People out there, y'all got to be awoke. Remember, Guyana has become a organ harvesting factory. And many of those people who coming from Bangladesh and those places, they grow up in communities where when a family get about 10 girls, they would sell them for organ donors because to pay the dowry, if they don't have money to pay the 10 dowries, it's problem for them. So they don't care. They got countries in the east who rear children for the organ harvesting. Because I saw a story where people would come from as far as Canada and those well-to-do ABC countries and go to those impoverished states to get organs for themselves and their loved ones. When you do a blood test, you getting everything on a person. You know that they got blood group this, they got this, they got that, they got that. And then you could group, you got the thing called grouping and matching. And when you get to give a person blood, you take off blood from the person who got to get blood. You know the blood group, you know everything. And you get somebody with the same blood group and you could transfuse. Likewise, you could transfuse from that person to the person who need your blood group. And in this wicked country, where they sit to destroy mainly the African people, they wouldn't care that you got to take blood from a certain age group. Once they want your blood, they will drag it off of anybody. So parents, guardians, and everybody with children in school, do not allow any nurse on no account whatsoever to take blood off of your children. You should be the person to take your child to the hospital and let the doctor prescribe. Now they got another thing where they are giving spectacles. You got to do proper eye tests before you could give spectacles. A lot of people just run and go anyway to get glasses. And why you know, when your eyesight gone, is where you could live. But when your eyesight gone, it is bad for you. So be your parents, take your children in hand. Let the schools know what they can do. But investigative reports such as blood work, it should not be in the hands of this wicked regime that they could send people into the school to draw and take off your offspring or your ward's blood. That is a no-no. Bye-bye. Talk to you from Guyana tomorrow. Bye-bye, Kada.
Thank you for that call, Rhonda. It is now 15 minutes to the 9 o'clock. We're still tuned to the Guyanese morning time. We have voice notes. Let me play a couple. Please hold your calls and let me play a couple of voice notes. We got to balance the thing, you know. We got to be fair.
Hey, Guyana, time to rise up, time to move up. Hey, be a new in the place. Hey, we put people first. Oh, hey. From Essequibo straight to Berbice, Guyana people want justice and peace. From quarantine water to Demerara shore, we tie up promises, we want more. Hey. No more lies, no more disguise. It's time for we dreams to realize. We coming strong with people power. APNU hour, this is we hour. APNU, say people first. We not gonna stop till the blessings burst. APNU, we putting people first. Time to rise up, break the curse. Future bright like a brand new day. We join lead in a real big way. APNU, say people first. From the top to the bottom, learn unity blazing, vision clear. Guyanese strong, no space for fear. We got the rhythm, we got the fire, lifting every village higher and higher. No more fight. rights, no more delay. We come to build Guyana today. From Lettenbush to Bartica Base, every face got a place in this race. We done with the roughness, done with the slack. We're taking the country forward, no turning back. Who you voting? Why we voting? Tell the nation. Let we go and claim the prize. PNU, we putting people first. Time to rise up, break the curse. Future bright like a brand new day. We dine leading a real big way. PNU, say people first. From the top to the bottom of unity blazing, vision clear. Guyanese strong, no space for fear. Every youth, every elder stand tall. This Guyana belong to us all. From the market woman to the king cutter hand, we building up this blessed land. APNU got the plan, got the drive. Putting people first, keeping up alive. So wind up, jump up, move with pride. We waving fem flag nationwide. Say, are you ready? Are you ready? Say, we go vote. Say, APNU. People first. APNU, we putting people first. Time to rise up, break the curse. Future bright like a brand new day. We giant leading a real big way. PNU, say people first. From the top to the bottom of unity blazing, vision clear. Guyanese strong, no space for fear. We outside in sun and rain. We putting people first again. APNU, we lead the line. Time for Guyana to rise and shine.
Morning, how you morning? How are you do? This screen fit nice and nicely alongside the APNU screen here, man. Like we were made for each other. Y'all see how this thing fit? Y'all hear me clearly? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me clearly. Look how this thing fit nice. How are you doing? How was your last night? This morning? Yesterday? Y'all talk to me. What were you able to achieve yesterday? And what do you plan achieving today? What are those smart goals you've set? This morning I want to allow you to talk to me, I want you all to tell me, what are your aspirations for the next elections? What do you aspire to see come out of the next elections? Don't just tell me a new government. Don't just tell me you want the PPP out of office. I want to really hear, what are your deepest thoughts on governance in Guyana? What needs to be done to fix the system? And how we possibly can achieve that. Let's call this morning Tuesday Talk Back, where you get to set the program of the next government, whether it's APNU, whether it's anybody, but I betting on APNU. Can we do that? Are you up for that task? I see Vincent Alexander. Vincent Alexander, kudos to you. Vincent Alexander is always out there enlightening the people. Usually I understand it's on behalf of the other, what we call them, opposition nominated
commissioners. Right? Yeah, Vincent is always out there speaking on what is happening over GCOM. And so he keeps us informed about what's happening over GCOM. I gotta look cute, you know. According to a certain person, they say they're cutable. Right, so I gotta try and be cutable too. Yes. So Vincent Alexander is out there saying that while GCOM is forging ahead for the September 1st election, he's not convinced, what's wrong, you know, that they are ready to, like, you want to do your own thing. What do you think it is? Let me take a musical break, man. Anthony B has always been one of my favorite reggae artists because he really brings it. He really brings the message. So yeah, I listened to Anthony B this morning. This one is called How Do You Sleep? Dedicated to all the politicians then. All the friends of government and
this is a letter to the political leaders of my country, Jamaica, and to all the political leaders around the world. Hello, Mr. Oldness and Miss B. I know you are the leaders of Jamaica, but come on and talk to me. How do you feel when you see the homeless on the street? Who do you pray for at night before you sleep? Tell me, when you look in the ghettos, are you proud? How do you sleep when the rest of us cry? How do you feel when the mother has no hope to give her child? How do you walk with your head held high? You can't even look me in the eye. What do you know about hard work? Doing 4 jobs and never get raised a pay. Let me tell you about hard work. Working on a farm until you're old and gray. Let me tell you about hard work. Try to get back your house after bank take it away. Let me tell you about hard work. Politicians don't do hard work. So how do you sleep when the rest of us cry? How do you feel when the mother has no hope to give her child? How do you walk with your head held high? You can't even look me in my eye. Beautiful Jamaica, the land of food and water. This island is so blessed. But every leaders we get in our country turn out to be filth and mess. Marcus Garvey did tell we without which a nation perish.
And now them split from Marcus Garvey grave and memory fit try pass IMF there. But I been talking to Mr. Intellect. The big guys are sitting up in the cabinet. Now, this is a letter coming from you. Take things next time before you read the budget. How do you sleep when the rest of us cry? How do you feel when the mother has no home to give her child? How do you walk with your head held high? You can't even look me in the eye. How do you sleep when the rest of us cry? How do you feel when the mother has no hope to give her child? How do you walk with your head held high? You can't even look me in the eye. Wicked, corrupted, political leaders of the world. Check conscience. Too much violence. Mother has no hope to give her child. How do you walk?
How do you sleep? Pertinent question. How do you sleep at nights? When you look around this society and you see all of the injustices, and this question, according to Antonio B., is directed at politicians. How do you sleep? When you look around and you see parents who can't provide for their children. How do you sleep when you look around in communities and you're seeing depression and oppression and separation? The ordinary man is literally slitting the throat of the other ordinary man to survive. How do you sleep? And you call yourself political leaders and political this and political that. How do you sleep? How do you sleep when your fare picking money for a day is way more than a public servant's salary for a month? How do you sleep, nigga? I remember an old story told of a certain minister of government walking away from his table or the counter of a popular Georgetown bar and leaving millions behind. Not as a tip, not as paying his bill, but just absent-mindedly walking away and leave millions behind. I read another story the other day of a so-called man of the cloth forgetting his firearm. Minister of government forgetting his firearm in the home of another man. Whose female companion was a word saddle. He went and had a good time with. According to the grapevine, she's listed as one of his side chicks. And the family gets reward with contracts, etc. And the main man, the main dude, the husband, reputed or otherwise, is quite happy for that. So they could live with that arrangement. But how dare you forget your firearm in my house? I feel violated. Oh, you're going to do the man? You got to let I know you've been here? I feel violated. Don't mind, I already sold my soul, my dignity. I allow myself to be emasculated and so on because things are tough in this country. And a contract here or a contract there could make things light, could make things easier for us. No, Brandy Anderson, I'm not late on that news. You see, some people look at it topical. They look at it from the top. They just read and say, it's another one of them. But I like to look at it in context. And the context of a woman and a man or a male partner having to give up, I'd say, their dignity to get contracts from a government agency is what I'm looking at it from. And that stinks to the high heavens. That stinks. Well, who is holding these politicians accountable? Who is holding them accountable? In the past, you had one of them rush up to a representative of a foreign government. You're feuding over a woman. But while they can do these things and their entertainment allowance, like I'm saying, for a few hours or a day, is way more than a public servant's salary. It would appear they sleep at nights. The question is, how can you sleep? The other question is, why do citizens allow you to sleep? Why do citizens allow you to sleep when you are causing them sleepless nights and days? TikTok is one of my new, I should say, lime in place, stomping ground, whatever you want to call it. I find myself going over to TikTok every now and again in the day to see what interesting discourses are taking place. And in the midst of it all, I'm told, what are we going to do? Guyanese are a peaceful people. Should peace mean stupidity? Should being peaceful mean stupidity? Because I'm a peaceful person, I might allow or should allow or allow people to trample on me, take advantage of me. Because I'm peaceful? You're out of time and out of place, man. Don't call now. Huh? What's wrong with the two, y'all? Y'all too terrible. The revolution doesn't sleep. Yes. So, Anthony B asked the question, how do you sleep? And I'm asking the question, why do citizens allow you to sleep? Because according to one citizen, what are we going to do? We are peaceful people. Duh. When Christopher Columbus came to these parts and he
subjugated the Amerindians, the indigenous people, they were peaceful. Duh. They brought the Africans chained to these lands. And had them working in captivity, perhaps peacefully, until such time that they realized peace ain't working out. When will we as a people recognize peace is not always the answer? According to them African mood, Africans like war. We want war. We don't want no peace. We want war. But the kind of war that will bring changes to the institutions of state. I was saying earlier, Vincent Alexander says that while GCOM is forging ahead for the September 1st election, he doesn't believe that they are ready to provide a free, fair, and credible elections. He didn't say they are not ready to provide an election. They can deliver an election. But will the election be free, fair, and credible? And from where I said it takes a free, fair, and credible election to change the government of the day, any government. Because, sir, as long as there is room for skullduggery, the government of the day will exploit that room. And so, listening to Alexander, we are entering into an election that has room for lots of skullduggery. Is that what we want as citizens? Is that what we want as citizens? Is that what we are prepared to sit back, relax, and accept as citizens? Huh? Gary Dalton, I sat there and I listened to that thing and I was very ashamed. I was very, very ashamed, and not only ashamed, but angry. The glee with which that woman spoke about all that the US has their hands in this country. All. And how much more they plan to have their hands in this country. I felt that we've been colonialized for yes another time. Or just one more time. And it's a colony of the US. Anyhow, that is not what I was talking about. He was asking the question, is that what we as citizens want to accept? Or do we want real value to be placed on our votes? And do we want to protect our votes when we cast them and ensure that we get the result that we voted for? When I don't know if you call it neo or whoever, colonialism for me is colonialism. When you're being colonized, you're being colonized. Whether it's old colonization or new colonization, it's the same colonization. We still have 2 months into an election because this is the 1st of July. We got all of July, all of August, and then on the 1st day of September. What are we as a nation prepared to do to ensure the election that results on the 1st of September or thereafter is free, fair, and credible? What are we prepared to do? Are we prepared to fill the streets in front of GCOM at least once in this 5 years? And more specifically in this short period leading up to the election, are we prepared as citizens to fill the streets in front of GCOM. They say forewarned is forearmed, and hint to Benny will make Kwashiba take notice. Are we prepared to send a hint to GCOM that if you don't get this right, and if you don't deliver free, fair, and credible elections, then they will be held to pay on the morning of the 2nd of September or thereafter? Are we? Or are we going to continue to sit and throw our hands up in the air and say, well, what we going to do? Guyanese are peaceful people. From where I sit, I think it's worth one more try. At least one more try. Or as a matter of fact, we can get 60 days of trying, 60 more days of trying. We have approximately 60 days to the election. We can have at least 60 days of trying to ensure that GCOM takes the necessary steps to deliver free, fair, and credible election, even if, note me, even if the elections have to be postponed to a later date. It is not unheard of. It has happened before. During the Desmond administration, the elections had to be postponed to a later date. They had to go back to the National Assembly and change the date of the elections, and so that certain systems could be put in place for GCOM to deliver a free, fair, and credible election. Whether or not that election which resulted was free, fair, and credible, we can argue it from here till the comes come home. Excuse me. We can argue about it from now till the cows come home. But precedent is precedent. It has happened before where the politicians, political parties, political representatives had to agree to go back to the National Assembly. Make some adjustments and change the date of the election. Why that generation could have done it and this generation can't? Hogg is saying we are prepared to come out and vote on the 1st of September. It's too late to fill the streets in front of GCOM. Hogg, I rather suspect. I'm saying I rather suspect. I don't know for a fact. That is what you would like us to believe. Because the current status quo benefits you and your friends. It's an assumption. Because I don't know who is Hogg. As a matter of fact, I don't know which human being wants to walk around with that tag, Hogg. But it's never too late. Like I said, it wasn't too late then when the Carter Center made Height and the others go back to the National Assembly. And it ain't late now. The Carter Center is in this country as of yesterday. The pre-election observatory team, I think, observatory team, or whatever they call them, I think pre-election something. Isn't it the right time to fill the streets in front of GCOM so that the Carter Center representatives here can see that Guyanese are not happy with the preparations that are made for these elections? Huh? It's a program they used to have on national radio. They call Opportunity Calls or something like that. Got to Florida, right? Yeah, see how to Florida, yeah, we get all kinds of ideas. Yes. Opportunity Calls or Opportunity Knocks, whichever one. I think this is an opportune time for Guyanese from all walks of life to, even for a day, even for one single day, fill the streets in front of GCOM to say to the representatives of the Carter Center and those other, what you call them, EU representatives and whoever they are that are here to say they come to observe the elections. And this is the forward team to recognize that, hey, Guyanese are not happy. We are not happy with the way these elections are being prepared for. We have no confidence that our votes will be valid, or our votes will be treated fairly. Credibly. Somebody's asked, why are we going into an election with these conditions as currently obtained? Because when we look at the alternative, or when some people look at the alternative, and there are several alternatives, mind you, but when they look at the alternative of not contesting the election and staying quietly, standing quietly by, what they see is a total PPP dominance or PPP domination, total PPP domination. Because as in any sporting game, two teams are supposed to contest against each other. One doesn't turn up, the other one gets a walkover. The other one gets a walkover. And so my assumption, because I'm not speaking for the political leaders here, the leader of the APNU and WP and so on, I'm speaking from my own perspective. The alternative to contesting an election under these questionable circumstances is not contesting and giving the PPP a clean sweep. And nobody wants that to happen. Excuse me. And so we're going to contest. We're going to contest under protest. Well, let me start the protest now, man. So we're going to protest before we contest. And if our protest before the contest doesn't bear fruit, we're going to contest, but still protesting. Sometimes I'm tempted to say some very funny things in my analogies. And then I have to remember, hey, you're on social media. It can cost a lot of money to have it scrubbed if you need to scrub it. But you know, as bad away you're hustling, girl, and you get her to stop, even to stop and talk with you, you could know whether or not you're getting a forward. Yeah. At least back in my time, we used to interpret getting a forward when she started drying all kind of things in the sand with her foot, or feet or toes. And so you read the sign. The Americans say you read the tea leaves. Eh, by gosh, yeah, look how she's drying up in the sand, by she can't find no button for this googly. A gosh, yeah, by this one gone. She gives you a sign that she's interesting. But when she watch you suck up her teeth and stretch up her mouth, sometimes she flaming up, but you got a clear sign too. Oh, I ain't got time you may tell. What signs are we prepared to give to the representatives of the Carter Center? That we are not in for the same old situation. What signs are we prepared to give? No, and asking no political leader to do anything. I want nobody say I creating work for them or I setting them up or whatever the terminology they're going to want to use. I'm asking the citizens questions because the citizens have responsibilities. And I usually say it. I was saying it yesterday and I'm saying it again. Politicians don't win elections. Citizens either vote for them or don't vote for them. Yeah, later. Yes, it's either citizens vote for them or don't vote for them. And if citizens are going to vote for politicians, then citizens have to also take steps to ensure that those assets, because they're assets, they are your assets, you know, are protected. You're not just take an asset and left it out there. Will you? At least I would. So if you're going to put your assets there, your votes there, then you also want to ensure that it is going to be counted the way you intend it to be counted. Isn't this a nice time, like I said, to say to the Carter Center, be watching everybody with eagle eyes. We ain't like what's going on here. We demanding that it be fixed before election day. And if y'all think y'all ain't gonna fix it, we giving y'all notice that we gonna behave bad. Because you see how many of us in the streets here? That's all I'm saying. Isn't it the time, isn't it an opportune time that the Carter Center Advanced Party, this is the term, Advanced Party, is here? Do you think that when they go back and they write their reports, that the Guyanese elections were free, fair, and credible? That is based on the day alone, election day alone? No, it's not usually based on election day alone. It is based on them walking around in the society, in this advanced party, keeping their ears to the ground, observing things, and concluding. And if Guyanese are quiet in their corner, Guyanese are saying nothing, Guyanese are not reacting to anything, Guyanese are not showing disagreement with anything, then what should they conclude? What should they conclude, folks? What are we going to do to help them to conclude the way we would like them to conclude, that these elections as they set up right now are not likely to be free, fair, and credible? And Guyanese people are not prepared to accept them. Unless they are really prepared to accept them, I don't know. My recommendation is simple. The streets in front of GCOM should be filled with Guyanese citizens calling for better preparations for these elections. And you know what? The folks at the Carter Center will not disagree with you. Because in their previous reports, they made certain recommendations to GCOM to change the system to ensure the delivery of free, fair, and credible elections. And to date, GCOM has not made those changes. But again, if the citizens are sitting down and they're not forcing the issue, how then do you expect the Carter Center to say, well, we told you so and we believe you really need to do so? Huh? Make it make sense. That daily, weekly, monthly, we are told by representatives at GCOM, this thing will look like it's setting up to be free and fair and credible. But we as a people are saying, no, man, we voting for the coalition is strong. But we are not also saying as a people, we are going to take measures to ensure that they understand that our votes must be respected. I think we have a golden opportunity. Even in this 10th hour, I think we reach the 11th hour yet. Because like I'm saying, the 1992 elections, Desmond Knight was president back then. He had to postpone the elections and go to the National Assembly based on demands made by the Carter Center back then. I'm not one for foreign interference into our sovereign matters. But as the world is set up now, and definitely as the PPP behaves, foreign intervention is necessary. As a matter of fact, let me remind you that they've been spending $50,000 per month for their lobbying firm. Which has now gone full throttle into interfering in the elections of this country. It's not time Guyanese take a stand. It's not time Guyanese say, well, hey, we have a strong message to send. Not this time. No way, Jose, not this time. But no, let me rock back, George. Let us rock back, George. Let us behave as all is well and all is good. And elections are the purest forms of expression to our desires to the growth and development of this country that we can deliver. But in my mind, I believe if we were to fill the streets in front of GCOM and around GCOM, the message would be heard by the advanced party of the Carter Center and all the other observers. And most importantly, those who sit at GCOM, disrespecting the representatives of the people. It's 18 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour. The lines are opened. I see this happening. They've opened the Oval to East Bank Highway. They say officially. And in the delivery of the opening remarks and so on and so forth, the president says that that road there has opened a lot and lots of economic opportunities. He mentioned that there are several private and public hospitals that will be constructed along that route. He also mentioned that there are several hotels that are almost completed along that route. I want to ask, under what circumstances were investors chosen to utilize those economic opportunities that presented themselves? Did the government make it public knowledge? Was there public tendering for anything? Were these spaces awarded on a competitive basis, or were the people handpicked? The time is 19 after 8 and the lines are definitely open. Let me hear your thoughts on the very issues that I've raised. Like I said, it's Talk Back Tuesday. I want to hear from you. What we as a people can and must do to fix this broken system that is the Guyana Election Commission and elections in general in this country. Caller, you on. Good morning.
Hi, blessed good morning to you, Mr. Gaddafi, and all the listeners. I just like to shine sunlight. I like to say thanks to Mr. Coffee that calls in to clarify and shed some light and some wisdom in what I did call in last week pertaining to um not seeing preparation or campaigning from the PNC and what I'm not seeing. I cannot talk about things that I do not know, but for my community, like I said, I didn't see any campaigning or any facilitating of garnishing any support from the APNU AFC partnership. So and I like to make a statement, I'm not going to call names because I listen to the program straight throughout, and I always listen to the program. But when independent young people with independent view make constructive criticism, there are always the older folks that criticize them, and that's a big problem in our country. And these old folks I'm talking about that believe and live for these parties, they do or die. This is a new era. They need to get on the board and get with the program. Young people are independent, they have constructive criticism, they're intelligent. I want to make remarks to a person calling and said, but cartel show and all these things. I don't go to cartel show. I always listen to constructive program like yourself, Mr. Parslow, and these things. So when these older folks criticize the young people, and that's the bigger problem that cause a division in our community, especially on the broader side of the opposition. Now you speak about GCOM and people not going out to protest. Now people won't take the street once once the leaders are not taking the street. You make up just now a point, whereas you would like to know under what circumstances that these investors get to build these hotels. Those are not questions that you should have asked by you. We have a strong opposition leader that is being paid to look into these things. Why are they not asking those questions and then using platform to come and tell their people what is transpiring? So in a sense of it, these older folks need to stop criticizing young people, especially young people that have good ideas, and get with the program, and let's see a broad future for everyone, not only for the older one and the young one. Thank you.
Thank you for that call. I want to say this. Let me ensure the call is hung up. Yes, I want to say this. None of us must believe that criticism is bad. Criticism is good. It is how we receive that criticism and what we do with it that will make the difference. And so young people come forward with their ideas, and elderly folks criticize them for their ideas. It's not war. It's not the end of the day. It's not the end of time. Youths will see things differently to the elders because there's something that's called a generation gap. And it doesn't exist only in politics. It exists in life. Why do you think parents and grandparents and grandchildren and so on, and children are, in many instances, always at loggerheads in their homes? Because they see things from different perspectives. As one senior citizen, I might get calls this morning, but she's a senior citizen, she's 70 years. She tell me so, I didn't ask. As one senior citizen say, young people have the technology, but the elders have the experience. And we have to recognize that the bridging of the technology with the experience is what will make the difference that we're craving. The youths have to recognize this. Every group has its role in society, you know. And what is the word, befuddles? Let me just use bother. It bothers me that in our society, we don't recognize the role of each group. A lot of people like to talk about Aubrey Norton. They like to say Aubrey Norton has lost the fire that he had in 1992, 1997, when they about the early 1990s. Aubrey lost no fire. Aubrey time gone for that particular kind of activity. Aubrey was a young man then. I don't know the man age right now. I don't know his age. Anybody who knows his age could tell me. But this is 2025. And if we're talking Aubrey leading protests, Aubrey creating tremendous problem for the PPP because of protests in 1997, let me say thereabout. Right? Was it then? Sometimes I lose my history, you know. Come on, man, do my thing. I ain't never work my brain. I'm using a calculator and it's slower than him. It's 28 years ago. I don't think Aubrey is 68. Let me say he's 60. Or let me even give him 68. I don't know my age. What if we were to give him 60? 28 years ago, he was 32 years old. Or even if you're 37 years old at that time, he was just within a bracket of youth, or just outside that bracket of youth, because depending on whose definition you look at. You can get between whoever to 35 or to 40, whoever they describe youth as. And so he was in that youth, young generation. And they were the ones carrying the charge to defend the democracy of the country, or to demand democracy in the country, whichever one you want to call it. They didn't wait on Desmondite. And I know what I'm saying. Because the political historians will tell you that Aubrey and Desmondite ended up at loggerhead because Desmondite was saying Aubrey's behavior was close to toppling the PPP government, and he ain't ruling no country by coup, number one. And Aubrey got follow instruction because Aubrey is a creature, or the general secretary at the time is a creature of the leader. Let the political historians tell you that. I remember that. Maybe not the exact words, but I remember that. Aubrey and his fellow young people were carrying the steam, and Desmondite had to play catch up with them or follow up with them. And it reached a point where things came to a head, and he said, hey, you got to understand that you're my creature. You got to rest yourself. Where are the youths who are carrying that fight, or a similar fight to the one Aubrey carried? They're waiting for Aubrey say, come out and let me go and fight. I hope the youth man that called understand what I'm saying. The elders will see things from a different point of view to the youngsters. And the youngsters have a role in this society that the elders would have already performed in their time. I like to make a joke, but it's a serious joke. I like to ask this question. Do you really believe that a 60-year-old, a 75-year-old who is now living with what I want to call it, chronic diseases or chronic illnesses, lifestyle diseases, whatever you want to call it. A 60-year-old who got diabetes, a 60-year-old who got respiratory problems. I'm just talking these things off the top of my head. Do you believe that a person like that would seek wisdom in going in a protest line, knowing that if they become injured in the protest line, it's like they have signed their own death sentence? Because as a diabetic, you get hit with a pellet in your foot, you're almost calculating and losing that foot, that leg. You really believe them elders gonna see wisdom in putting themselves at that risk? No. But those very elders, when they were youngsters, were putting themselves at that risk to ensure that their elders could have led and bring comfort to them. But this generation of young people, they don't see themselves serving, they just want to be served. And y'all don't beat me up for having that analysis. That's my analysis. And I'm entitled to it. I was out there in the streets as a youth man, running around, protesting, getting locked up and arrested and running through the streets and all of that. I still do some of that now. But not with the same kind of energy and zest and callousness, if I want to call it that, that I did as a youngster. This generation of youth have played their part. And so when young people continue to say, the leaders them gonna lead, yeah, the leaders will lead. But from where? Your grandfather established a farm 50 years ago. When he was 40, he's now 90. He still has the know-how. He has the experience of managing the farm and running the farm and so on. But do you expect him to go and plow it? The grandchildren's support become extremely important for this continued success and survival of the farm. I'll be seeing the wisdom. I hope I got some wisdom and I hope I'm sharing some wisdom. It's the young people that are going to lead the charge in the streets of Georgetown and around this country. I'll be playing part in leading the charge. According to my rough calculation, 20-something years ago. He's now 20-something years older. I know what lifestyle disease or anything they might get, but I just asking the question. Cian Sharma. Y'all forgive me for calling your name this morning, but I want to illustrate a point. Not you right now. At least let me finish, make my point. Cian Sharma is a younger brother. Fought the PPP tooth and nail. And he gets a lot of licks. Every time you go into the community, just as though you see the harassing Azudin lucky, he ain't get no legs, and Azudin ain't getting no legs because I guess Azudin got people who strap protecting him. But Cian Sharma used to go into Indo-Guyanese communities, and I like the plight of Indo-Guyanese and the PPP being the bullies that they always have been and will remain until somebody clip the wings. Used to set up people for beat Sharma. Ask Sharma what the impact of those licks are or have been in his old age. Because he was a big man when he was doing that. Along with other things. Right? I hope I'm illustrating the point for you. I'm willing to go there in front of GCOM and be part of those who fill the streets of GCOM. And I'm not going to sit and wait on Aubrey Norton. I'm not going to sit and wait on David Hines. I'm not going to sit and wait on Takumo Gunzi. History has shown that I went out there with people like Rhonda and Emily and the others, and we started that. And the very youth who saying the leaders got to lead, not that I'm in turn up. It's say big people been out there. And it's say big people still does out there. Yeah, show me the young people. Yeah, I get a last lap. Let me make it count for something. The lines remain open. Hopefully I don't run my mouth. I say talk back Tuesday. Why y'all talk back? I'm looking for voice notes. I see one. Let me play it.
Good morning, viewers. Good day, African people who follow the PPP and follow Mohammed Party. Let us see. Them the Scalwi thugs, them the Scalwi all kind of names. Let us look at the PPP and Mohammed, how them was cussing out on social media. The two parties them, and it's Indian, all them is Indians. Let us look at these people. And this in Star PPP government called black people, all kind of name, hooligans, they call us all kind of name. And the same parties that black people running at. If them question out their own, what they gonna do to us as African people in this country? Like what we see they're doing to we. Come on, Guyanese people, black people, come on, man. Wake up. Wake up and smell the coffee. Black people are sick and tired of your attitude. Are sick and tired of black people, sick and tired. Now watch Jermaine Figueroa. I know that he was on his way long, because he was in bed with the PPP all the time. Cause watch when things happen in this country, jumping up the PPP. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Y'all is the goat head in the PNCR party, the goat heads. And we glad Mr. Norton get to the order, y'all. Y'all are goat head in the PNCR party. Y'all was controlled by Amna Ali. Amna Ali to control all of y'all and watch all of y'all leaving the party. No, it's good. Thank God, man.
Forgive me. Sometimes I just be biased. Sometimes I become a dictator. Y'all forgive me, but so far, of what value is this voice note that I stopped where I stopped it? I don't think there's any value in us continuing to cause people move on with their life or choose to move on with their life. There's a time for everything. There's a time to kill and there's a time to nurture. There's a time to reap and there's a time to sow and there's a time for this and there's a time for that. Why are we continuing to expend our energies on these folks who have moved on, who we knew had moved on a long time ago and they formalized their moving on? Why we should be just celebrating? Why we still analyzing them? Y'all explain that for me, if y'all could. Caller, you're on.
Good morning, Mr. Kadaki, and good morning to our viewers. What Guyanese have to understand, I made this comment a few weeks ago, and some people were very touchy because they did not understand the point that I was making. Now, first comment is that I'm going to say it again. If Guyanese, whether young or old, believe electing an individual or an organization or a businessman that is alleged conspire with the government to cheat on or to have a situation where they're evaded taxpayers or tax dollars that's supposed to be going to the economic stability, whatever, of Guyana. If they believe, I'm going to say it again, if they believe electing him going to save Guyana from some severe sanctions, just do it. Just elect him. Just do it. All the young people, all those who saying, oh, he's paying, building houses, the government is doing. Yes, he's doing that because we deserve it. He stole from the economy. He and his friends, the so-called Ali and Dragdio, they instilled that in him to steal over 100 million US dollars in tax dollars that was supposed to be going to the economy or the Guyanese people. Try, please. I do it. Vote him in. Let him get one seat in Guyana. And then you'll see the real treatment you're going to get. Try it. Please try it. You're going to be, and I'm going to say it again, I'm saying it, you're going to be just like what the Palestinians did when the government, those powerful countries told them to have elections because they wanted to see democracy. And the people did have elections and they voted Hamas. They voted for Hamas because that's what they want. And what happened after that? You were blacklisted. You couldn't travel. Palestinians can't leave to go to no country. Not one country they can't leave, despite the situation with them and Israel. They can't leave because they voted. They wanted Hamas. And that's what you get. So try it, Guyanese. All those ignoramuses, try it, young or old. Try it. Make him get one seat in Guyana, in Guyana's parliament. Right now, the government is pretending that they're dead to see what kind of funeral they're going to have. So y'all play stupid and vote him in. The next thing is concerning those class people, whether it is PPP, PNC, APNU, WPA, whatever. If you think the middle class is more than the poor, try y'all nonsense and leave them behind like what we did, cause the PPP to be in there for 20 plus odd years. It's because of the destruction of the PNC, where you left the poor class behind, thinking the middle class is more than the poor class. Ain't no way it does happen. The poor is more than the middle class, and you can't leave them behind. You cannot win an election. You put the middle class PPP, you put the middle class PNC, you put the middle class WPA, you can't win. Poor is more than the rich, and they will carry you to the finish line. So play stupid. Play stupid and say you want to be VP or you want to be president and leave the poor behind. They're the majority. Whether you twist it and turn it. So continue with your nonsense home. As I didn't win a seat, all them visa where you got there to jump on a plane for come to the US or Canada or England, it ain't gonna happen no more because all done gone. Everyone, y'all gotta stay in the hole and they gonna brutalize you more because they're all in one cup. Thank you, Mr. Gadaki. Have a good day.
Kadaki, blessings and good morning to you, my brother. Blessings to our listeners from the diaspora and from the four corners of the earth who tune in and listening, Lord. Kadaki, what is going on in Guyana? I look at a footage last night where this fella, Quinton Bernard, police officers came at his home and set a drama thing where they wanted was to put him in the vehicle and he ran off and shots was fired. And Karaki, the law stated that once you is a firearm holder, you could kill, but under circumstances. If your life is a threat or someone's life is a threat, but you can't come to apprehend someone and the person run and you shooting at that person. That is craziness, man. Something had to be done about this. This is madness. My second point, Karaki. Over the weekend, I look and I saw this Muhammad, his father brothers, who say that they are Muslim, say that they analyze these supporters who going up and they realize that the only man who could do the job is Irfan Ali. Them fellas, something wrong with them fellas, man. Something definitely wrong with them. You know, Gianna was murdered in a house, in a hotel. And those guys who profess to be religious, they never came and see nothing. Gianna's father and his mother grieve openly. They never stand in front of a camera and see nothing. But you know, they pose in front of a camera and stating that Irfan Ali is the best man to run this country. Something wrong with them fellas, why? Them fellas don't need dress up and look nice as Muslim, but them ain't Muslims. Muslims do talk so. Them could only talk so in Guyana. Anywhere else in the world, did they go and talk like that? Them will be embarrassed or murdered. Kakaraki, if Guyanese seeing what it is going on, and they go in and vote back this government into power, well, brother, they will eat the bread that the devil need. That is all I have to say. Because people always say, well, what you can't see in the daylight, don't take light and go and look for it in the night. Kakaraki, out and listening.
Thank you for that voice note. It's now 11 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. You're still tuned to the Guyanese Morning Time. I remain your host, Kidaki Amsterdam. Right? Send me those voice notes. Those of you over at TikTok, you can call, you can voice note on 6225933. That's the number we take voice notes and calls on. And I really would like to hear your perspective on these issues. So you can send them to me via voice note on WhatsApp, 6225933. I can't engage both groups of people at the same time. And like I said, my larger audience, larger following, larger number of people can be found on YouTube and Facebook. And so I'm now coming over to the TikTok thing. So, it will take a time. Call you on. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Amsterdam. Good morning, everyone in the Guyanese diaspora. Good morning to all Guyanese. You raised an issue this morning about GCOM. And is GCOM ready? Look, Mr. Vincent Alexander said GCOM is not ready. Trotman said they're not ready. And Corbyn said they're not ready. Those are the three commissioners there. They said they're not ready.
So that's enough. That's enough basic. Your contention and the greater public's contention to CARICOM, because CARICOM helped broker GCOM into its existence. Okay. CARICOM negotiated at the time with the National Assembly and the parties to come about the establishment of what we call GCOM. Jimmy Carter's center is back here again. And what we're saying to them by way of our protest, that what seemed to have worked for a while or survived for a while has totally imploded. GCOM has imploded. I think we need to do protest to do so. And we must also include Lowenfield's report and Lowenfield's stance. All of these things. I think we have sufficient ground. You've heard me speak on this a 1,000 times. To go and hold a protest and be justified in it. The leaders would have to follow because they're working for us. Let me say this, leaders, and I support the PNC and the WPA and APNU, but make no mistakes. We don't work for leaders. Leaders work for us. Leaders are our go-between. Political parties are our go-between. They represent our political will. And we are saying, we have been saying collectively as a people, we are being disenfranchised. And we are asked to give a disenfranchised political party with an unfair advantage to represent us equitably, fairly. And that can't happen. We are giving them basket to carry water, to carry our water, our political will. Saying that to the Jimmy Carter's Foundation. If we are here, if everyone is here to see that Guyana has a free and fair elections, and the people are saying that we are being disenfranchised because the vehicle to carry us to franchisement, to equity, to credible elections, to fair elections, that vehicle is malfunctioning, has imploded ever since Lowenfield signaled it, has imploded since Cynthia Giles, the chief CARICOM observer, has reported on GCOM's malfunction. So we have all the grounds and bases to go to the street, Mr. Amsterdam, and prevail. Now, I know the PPP may be glad that elections are delayed temporarily. I don't know how that may suit. See to it that the PPP, being that they are already illegitimate in our eyes, that they can be placed in some type of caretaker government status. I think laying our argument before, if and when the election happens on September the 1st, is requisite, because you can't wait to complain after the fact. You've got to complain sufficiently before the fact. And we must serve official notice to CARICOM, to the Carter Foundation, that this
All right, it appears we have lost Coffee, but we certainly have gotten the message. Let me say this to you for those of you who don't know, or don't remember, or pretend not to know. GCOM in its current state was not meant to be permanent. The current structure of GCOM was a stopgap measure put in place by the Carter Center for that elections I'm talking about. Then they had to go back to Parliament and adjust the Constitution to accommodate it in this state. And the intention was that it was going to evolve. GCOM was not evolved. And since it has not evolved, we have seen all of the shortcomings of GCOM over the last 2 election cycles, let's see. And we still are persevering with that. We're still going into another election with that. We're still going into another election with all the problems identified. But you know what? I got one more voice note to play.
Good morning, viewers. Concerning these protests and concerning Mama got a lot of followers. He building house and he giving out a lot of gifts, but he receiving it back because these things is open on the tax. So that when he gives you these things now and they put it on the tax, they will not pay in the amount of tax they're supposed to normally pay. So don't feel that you're giving it and the rejoicing, people rejoicing, yes, but it's on the tax. Because when you go to GRA, if you're supposed to pay 100 million, you only pay about 40 million, So it's a reimbursement whereby they're giving something and getting back something. Then the next thing, all the years, the people crying out that GCOM not ready yet. The system and design, we always supposed to design to get a free and fair election. Everybody call upon Abby Norton for going to lead them protest. Why y'all look up on Mamas for going to lead them protest? Easy upcoming start. Mobilize the youth and mobilize people and go in front of GCOM. For 5 years now, you been with the PPP, so why you don't go in front of GCOM and protest? The only calling upon APNU. All the parties that we see them, the dodging, let them go in front of GCOM and protest because they know that it ain't ready yet. The list is a bloated list. Everybody knows that. But no, I don't want belly cat. They want the APNU people must belly cat. The one set of people must belly cat at them double PA APNU. These are people the ones for belly cat. One to the rest of people. Mama get a lot of followers. Let Mama take your followers and carry on and demand a list, a fair and free election list. Therefore, all of them in the cuckoo jar. They don't want to do it because you're seeing it playing in the street that they're leaning upon the other side. You're seeing it. What more Guyanese people want to see? Be wise, Guyanese. Vote and vote wisely. Don't make stupid decisions. You're going to hunt it down the road. That's my take for the morning.
Thank you. And that's a final voice call for the morning, voice note for the morning. I am going to leave you with Anthony B. Anthony B, again, how do you sleep?
This is a letter to the political leaders of my country, Jamaica, and to all the political leaders around the world. Hello, Mr. Oldness and Miss B. I know you are the leaders of Jamaica, but come on and talk to me. How do you feel when you see the homeless on the street? Who do you pray for at night before you sleep? Tell me, when you look in the ghettos, are you proud? How do you sleep when the rest of us cry? How do you feel when the mother has no hope to give her child? How do you walk with your head held high? You can't even look me in the eye. What do you know about hard work? Doing 4 jobs and never get raised a pay. Let me tell you about hard work. Working on a farm until you're old and gray. Let me tell you about hard work.
Training animals in Buxtonian.
Try to get back your house of the back, take it away. Let me tell you about hard work. Politicians don't do hard work. So how do you sleep when the rest of us cry? Jamaica, the land of food and water. This island is so blessed. But every leaders we get in our country turn out to be filth and mess. Marcus Garvey did tell we without which a nation perish. And now them split from Marcus Garvey grave and memory we try pass IMF there. Cause I been talking to Mr. Intellect. The big guys are sitting up in the cabinet. Now, this is a letter coming from you. Take it next time before you read the budget. How do you sleep when the rest of us cry? How do you feel when the mother has no hope to give her child? How do you walk with your head held high? You can't even look me in my eye. How do you sleep when the rest of us cry? How do you feel when the mother has no hope to give her child? How do you walk with your head held high? You can't even look me in my eye. Wicked, corrupted, political leaders of the world. Check the countries. Too much violence towards parents. Mother has no hope to give her child. How do you walk?
Okay, it is now 3 minutes past 9 o'clock. I want this to have to take my leave of you. Pick up yourself and go on easy. Remember that Kingdom Academy. Yes, remember that Kingdom Academy is hosting its reading and math camp, reading and math summer camp from July 14th to the 31st, and it starts at 9 and it goes until 12. Of course, there is early bird registration, which started on the 28th of June, and that goes on to the 4th. Early bird registration, yes, started on the 28th of June, and it goes on to the 4th of July. If you register before the 4th of July or on the 4th of July, you're going to pay $7,500 only for 2 subjects. You can call on 619-7448 or 659-8309. Get registered at Kingdom Academy, located at the Buxton Public Road here at the junction of Middlewalk and the East Coast Highway. Thank you for tuning in, TikTokers. Thank you for your nuggets. Do have a great time. I hope I'll pop in on somebody's live in the course of the day and we can continue these kinds of gaffes. In the meantime, stay safe. Facebook, likewise, YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You all have a good day. Goodbye. Stay safe and stay dry. It's raining in Buxton.